Uh-oh. Battery is dying. SOS. Hold on. Where is... USB. Right there. Why not have another USB? That's crazy. Hold on. I'm go on a little drive with me because I got a new camera and I'm excited to try it out. This is supposed to be like the camera for creators, and I think oh my god, I haven't put on like makeup or anything in forever, you guys, and clearly I don't remember what it's like to put on makeup because I keep touching my eyes and all that. So this camera is supposed to be like the camera for content creators because it has a flip screen. It's made for people who make videos, less like photography, don't mind my little rosary here, less photography, more videos. So of course I was excited to try it out. The last camera that I bought used. This one I bought brand new. I love it, and yeah, I'm excited to try it out. So today's video is going to be everything about how to become a registered nurse. So everyone always talks about how to get into like aesthetic nursing, right? That's like a big portion of my YouTube videos. That's what I want to help you guys succeed in. And I went back yesterday and I was like, let me look through some of these comments. Let me see what's confusing to people. What is something that maybe my videos are lacking in to where I can help you guys? One of the biggest things that I saw was that a lot of people were confused about like how to get started, like the very basics. So the very basics, you guys, and I'm from California, and this applies to most states. I don't know about other countries, but in most states, and I could be wrong, but in most states, you have to be a registered nurse at the very bare minimum to inject Botox and fillers. Not an LPN or LVN, even though in some states, I'm learning that LPN/LVN, they can do Botox. In California, you have to be a registered nurse. So that is one step up in like the scope of practice. So you have to have one step up. You have to be a registered nurse in order to become an aesthetic registered nurse. So a registered nurse, nurse practitioner, a physician assistant, MD. Those are the people who can inject Botox and fillers. Now, in order to become a registered nurse, I'm going to give you guys some tips. I'm also going to give you guys a little bit of like my backstory, and some of it is in the how to become an aesthetic registered nurse video. But I've realized that some of my followers, you guys are high school students who are like in your senior year and just need a little bit of guidance, or you guys are in nursing school and kind of don't know where to start within nursing school. So let's dive into it. This is something that I feel like needs to be addressed, and let's get to it. So first things first, like I said, you have to be a registered nurse. That does not mean you can be an esthetician. An aesthetic registered nurse, AES, aesthetic registered nurse, is different than an esthetician, EST. It's very different. Estheticians, I work with a lot of estheticians. They can do facials, they can do certain kinds of peels. They cannot inject Botox and fillers. Again, this is mainly for California, but also the United States. Estheticians cannot perform Botox and fillers. That's illegal. You have to be a registered nurse. So, if you are in high school, what I would recommend is start looking into nursing programs. I went to Mount St. Mary's University. They have and I will link them below, they have a accelerated BSN program, which is someone who already has a bachelor's, and let's say they have a bachelor's in, I don't know, something else, and they want to pursue nursing. So because they have some of those classes already done, they do an accelerated program, which is about 1.5 years or 2 years. It's intense, but I know a lot of people have done that, and then they come out of it with their BSN. And then they take their NCLEX, their board exams, and then pass and become a registered nurse. Now, the other program that Mount St. Mary's has is an ADN to BSN. That's if you have your associate's degree in nursing, which a lot of people have. A lot of older nurses, the ADN is what they have, because BSN, the bachelor's, wasn't a thing back then. Now, if you want to work in a hospital, or honestly most places, they're kind of pushing for a lot of new hires to have their BSN. So if you want to have something to fall back on, I would say definitely go for a BSN program versus an ADN program, or go for your ADN. If you feel like you have a job lined up, go for your ADN. And then once you're working, just go for the bachelor's part. The bachelor's part really is a leadership class, a research class. There's, from my understanding, there's no clinical, not really a clinical portion to it, maybe the leadership portion. But you can go ahead and go for your bachelor's while you're working. The other program that the Mount offers, which is the one I was in, is the traditional BSN program. So this applies to you high school students. So let's say you're in high school and you're like, I know I want to be a registered nurse because I either A, want to work bedside, or B, want to be an aesthetic registered nurse. So if that is the case, what you want to do is you want to start looking at the prerequisites for these programs, whether you go to Mount St. Mary's or a community college, or let's say like CSUN, Cal State, state schools. You want to start looking at their prerequisites. If there are some classes that you can take while you're in high school, I strongly recommend you guys do it. I never did that. Those of you who follow me and know me since high school, you know, school just wasn't my thing until I decided I wanted to do nursing, and then I loved school. I hated school. I loved learning, but school just wasn't my thing. School's, especially high school. It's, right? It's like Mean Girls all over again. And I was good at school, but I never liked going to school. So there's that. Do with that information what you will. But anyways, so I never took community college classes while I was in high school. If I did, I think it would have saved me from having to take 18 to 21 units each semester of my prereq classes. So like my first year at Mount St. Mary's, I wasn't in a nursing program. I was in what they call pre-nursing. So when you're in pre-nursing, what they do is they say these are all the prereq classes you have to take, and then you can be in the pre-nursing for 1 year like I was, and pretty much jam pack your schedule and have no life and have panic attacks and take your prereq classes. So that's exactly what I did. I took my microbiology, my anatomy lab, physiology lab, chemistry. I took all those classes plus the prereqs that the Mount St. Mary's wanted, which is religious studies and philosophy, things of that nature, because it was a religious-based school. So imagine if you were in high school, your junior or senior year, you take chemistry, knock it out, take it out of community college, knock it out, take anatomy, take maybe a philosophy class or political science class. That does two things for you. A, when you're done with, when you graduate high school and you're looking into prereqs for a nursing program, that's one less class you have to take. Can you imagine the burden that gets taken off of you because you don't have to take a philosophy or a political science class, and all you can focus on is the science, let's say like anatomy and physio plus the labs that come with those classes? That would be amazing. B, what that does for you is you are going to save so much money. In universities, they charge you per unit, and based on, from when I went to school, each unit, let's say like anatomy was 3 units plus the lab, which is an additional 1 or 2 units, I think. And like each unit is $500. So you're paying about $1,500 for one class. Sorry, B. Rice is trying to sleep in the back, but it's okay. I'm driving her around so she can sleep a little. So you are going to pay $1,500 for one class, versus when I was looking into community college classes, they were like 60 something a unit. Do you see the price difference? Save yourself the money, save yourself the time. If you can take classes while you're in high school, go for it and do it. So then once you take those classes, whether you take it while you're in high school or right out of high school, once you take those classes, you can then go ahead and apply for nursing programs. Okay, I'm back. She's not sleepy. I'm just gonna go home so she can sleep. Like I said, with nursing programs, look into different ones in your state. You can go to a university like I did. I went to Mount St. Mary's, the Shillong campus in Brentwood, and they were just known for their nursing program. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty easy to get into their prereq program, their pre-nursing program. I graduated high school June 2010, and I got into their program, and I started in August. I started mid-August of 2010, so 2010, and I got into their pre-nursing program. The other way you can go about it is you can look into community colleges. So in California, when I was going to school, community colleges were so packed, and I'm sure they're even more packed now. So I know people who went the community college route, and it's cheaper. It's so much cheaper, which is, it's worth it, you guys, but you also have to look at time. She's like sucking on her fingers back there. She's self-soothing. It's great. But anyways, in college, you have to look at like your timeline, because like I said, community colleges in California are so packed that people would take all their prerequisites, and then the nursing program would be like a lottery system. So you could have like the best GPA, but you were on a lottery system. It was pretty much like luck of the draw, which I think is ridiculous. My motto always has been, time is money. For me, the cost of going to Mount St. Mary's, I paid for the convenience of quick, becoming a nurse quick. I knew what I wanted to do. I had one goal in mind, and that's what I wanted to do. I did not want to waste time or money in community college waiting for a lottery system. I don't like depending on other people. I depend on myself. So as long as I kept my GPA up, I knew I could get into the nursing program, and I didn't have to rely on a lottery system at a community college. Now, not all community colleges are like that. So if you find a community college that isn't as packed and all you have to worry about is your GPA, I say go that route, because it is significantly cheaper. So you graduated high school, you finished your prereqs. What do you do now? You look at your other requirements. Most likely one of your requirements before applying to any nursing program is going to be the TEAS test. The TEAS test is a mix of English, like reading comprehension, math, and science, and it's basically like the fundamentals of those three subjects, and you have to get, I think it's like a 67%, 70%. You have to pass with that in order for certain nursing programs to accept you. I want to say Mount St. Mary's, I want to say it was like a 70%. You have to get a 70%. So to be honest, I love English, science, except for the sciences I like. Math, I didn't really study, and I didn't get the best score the first time. I forgot what it was. I wouldn't even know how to check. But I didn't get the best score the first time, and then, let me see here. And so I retook the TEAS test, I think, a few weeks after, and I got a higher score after practicing and like actually studying. So that worked to my advantage. So take your TEAS test, study for it, so you don't have to waste your time and take it a second time like I did. And then you can apply to nursing programs. And now let's see. So once you do all that, you apply for your nursing program. So for me, I applied, I got in, and that's like the first big step into becoming a registered nurse. So you get into the nursing program, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, you just kind of have to like bust your butt in the nursing program. I lost a lot of relationships during that time because I was so focused on school, and the people around me, they were more into like, you know, freshman college mode, which is like party. And again, I just don't like wasting time, so I just went into it and I just focused on study. And like I said, I lost a lot of relationships, and I mean, it sucks, but that's what I had to end up doing. And so in nursing school, a lot of you have asked about my experience in nursing school. My experience in nursing school was not like go out, party. I didn't really do any of that. I didn't dorm at Mount St. Mary's. I commuted. And I didn't dorm because I didn't want to waste the money on dorming. Like, to me, that's an extra 10 to 15 grand annually that I could save and pay off my school loans. I didn't want to dorm because also it's an all-girls school. I mean, they were so strict, you guys. They like didn't, you have to like check in if you wanted to come visit someone. It was just too much. So I didn't want to dorm because mainly I wanted to save money. So I commuted, and I was very disciplined because when you commute, you have an hour and a half in the morning when you drive, and then, you know, you have to drive back home. So you have to learn time management really well when you're a commuter. If any of you guys commute, you know exactly what I'm talking about.